You are standing in a burning room. The heat is rising. The exits are blocked. And through a window, a firefighter reaches out a hand to pull you to safety. It is the most logical thing in the world to reach back, but you don't. You look at the hand, then at the fire, and a paralyzing thought overrides your survival instinct. If I take that hand, I will owe them. If I rely on them, they might drop me. It is safer to burn than to trust. This is not a story about stubbornness or high achievement. This is the anatomy of hyper-independence. It is a trauma response disguised as a virtue, a survival reflex that screams, "I must do it all, or I will die." We live in a culture that idolizes the self-made. We applaud the ones who carry the weight of the world without buckling, the ones who never ask for help, the ones who are the rock for everyone else. We call them resilient. But we rarely ask what is happening inside the silence of that strength. We rarely ask why they are so terrified to let anyone see them bleed. True independence is a choice, the ability to stand alone but the freedom to call for backup. Hyper-independence is not a choice, it is a prison. It is the inability to receive support even when you are drowning. To understand why you built this fortress, we must look at the foundation. Hyper-independence is almost never a personality trait born in adulthood. It is a scar formed in childhood. It begins with the concept of parentification. Picture a 7-year-old child. At that age, your only job should be to explore and play, to have needs that are met by capable adults. But for the hyper-independent adult, that script was flipped. Perhaps you grew up in a home where the caregivers were physically present but emotionally absent, battling addiction, depression, or their own immaturity. Perhaps the emotional weather of your house was volatile, and you learned to read the room before you even walked into it. You learned that your parents could not hold you because they could barely hold themselves. In that environment, a child makes a silent, unconscious vow to survive. I will need nothing. You learned that having needs was dangerous. It caused stress, it invited rejection, or it simply went unnoticed. So, you became the easy child. You became the therapist to your mother, the protector of your siblings, the emotional thermostat of the household. You learned to self-soothe, to wrap your own arms around yourself. You buried your vulnerability deep in the basement of your psyche, because vulnerability was a luxury you could not afford. This strategy worked. It saved you. It minimized conflict and earned you the only form of love available: praise for your maturity. But the brain is an anticipation machine, and yours is stuck in a loop from 20 years ago. You grew up, you left that house, but your nervous system is still patrolling the perimeter. To your amygdala, reliance still equals danger. Now, as an adult, this manifests as a fortress of solitude. You view help as a threat. When someone offers to carry a box or cook dinner, your reaction isn't gratitude, it's a visceral flinch. "I've got it," you say, before you even process the offer. You hoard your struggles, locking them away, because exposing your difficulty feels like handing someone a loaded gun. You believe that if you do not control every variable, chaos will return. You have confused autonomy with isolation. You have convinced yourself that needing others is a weakness, unaware that humans are biologically wired for interdependence. We are a tribal species. We survive in packs. To override millions of years of biology requires a profound break in trust. And that is what hyper-independence is. It is not strength, it is a trust wound. It is the deep, calcified belief that no one is coming to save you, so you must save yourself, over and over again, until your final breath. You have built a life where you are essential to everyone, but known by no one. You are the architect of a fortress that keeps pain out, yes, but it also keeps love out. And as we will see, the cost of maintaining these walls is far higher than the risk of letting them fall. You are safe, but you are suffocating. The armor you wear is magnificent. It is polished so brightly that when people look at you, they see their own reflection. They see competence, stability, and power. But they do not see that inside the metal suit, you are collapsing. You have been carrying the weight of the world for so long that your muscles have calcified around it. You don't realize you are tense because tension is your baseline. You don't realize you are exhausted because adrenaline has become your fuel. The price of hyper-independence is paid in life force. It leads to a specific, crushing type of burnout that sleep cannot fix. This is existential exhaustion. It is the fatigue of holding. Imagine holding a glass of water with your arm outstretched. For a minute, it is light. For an hour, it aches. For a lifetime, it is torture. You have been holding the emotions, logistics, and crises of everyone around you without ever putting the glass down. This state is often called functional freeze. To the outside world, you are a whirlwind of productivity. You hit deadlines, organize events, and solve problems. But internally, your soul is in suspended animation. You are moving, but you are not feeling. Joy feels distant, passion feels like a memory, and you are merely surviving your life, not living it. You are a high-functioning machine running on fumes, and the fumes are toxic. But the most devastating cost is not what it does to your energy, but what it does to your relationships. There is a cruel paradox at the heart of hyper-independence. You crave connection. You are starving for it, but your behavior actively repels the intimacy you need. When you present yourself as someone who has no needs, you attract takers. You attract narcissists looking for a host, or underfunctioners looking for a parent. They are drawn to your strength not to support it, but to lean on it. And because you learned that being useful is the only way to be loved, you let them in. You fix, you manage, you carry. Then the resentment arrives. Resentment is the quiet killer of love. It starts as a whisper. Why is no one helping me? Why do I have to do everything? It grows into a simmering bitterness. You feel used. You look at your partner or friends and think, they don't care about me. But here is the brutal truth we must face. You taught them to treat you this way. By never asking, you taught them the answer was always, I've got it. By never showing vulnerability, you taught them you were unbreakable. You cannot blame people for not walking through a door you have bolted from the inside. You are angry that they aren't reading your mind, but you are doing everything in your power to keep your mind unreadable. You are testing people, waiting to see if they will notice you drowning, but you are drowning quietly, treading water so expertly that it looks like swimming. This creates a profound isolation. You can be married for 20 years and remain a stranger to your spouse. They love the strong you, the provider, the fixer, but they do not know the scared you. You are terrified that if you stopped being useful, if you stripped away the providing and the fixing, they would leave. So you keep performing. You keep the armor on, even in bed, especially in bed. Because true intimacy requires surrender, and surrender feels like death to a nervous system wired for control. You are trying to outcome manage the universe. You overplan, over-research, and have a contingency for every disaster because you believe that if you are vigilant enough, you can prevent pain. But a pain-proof life is a feeling-proof life. You cannot selectively numb emotions. If you numb grief and fear, you also numb joy and awe. You live in the gray middle frequencies, safe, sterile, and lonely. Eventually, the bill comes due. It usually happens in your 30s or 40s. A crisis strikes, a divorce, a health scare, a layoff that is too big to carry alone. The knees buckle, the I've got it reflex fails, and you are left staring at the wreckage, realizing that the fortress you built to protect yourself has become your mausoleum. You are perfectly safe and you are perfectly alone. The armor worked too well. So, how do we dismantle a fortress we spent a lifetime building? How do we lower the drawbridge when our entire nervous system screams that the world outside is dangerous? The first step is to recognize that the war is over. The environment that required your hyper-independence, that childhood home, that chaos, that neglect, is in the past. You are safe now. You are an adult with resources and agency. You are still wearing a soldier's uniform in peacetime. Healing is not about swinging from independence to dependence. It is about finding interdependence. Dependence says, I cannot survive without you. Hyper-independence says, I cannot survive with you. Interdependence says, I am whole on my own, but I am better with you. It is the realization that we are like trees in a forest. Our roots are tangled underground, holding each other up in the storm. Attempting to stand without a root system is not strength, it is a slow death. We do not tear down the walls overnight. We use the method of titration, small, micro movements of vulnerability. You do not start by handing someone your deepest trauma. You start by asking for the salt. You start by letting someone hold the door. You start by saying, I'm tired, instead of, I'm fine. These seem trivial, but for you, they are revolutionary. Every time you ask for a small favor and are not rejected, you rewire your brain. You provide your amygdala with new data. I asked, I received, and I survived. The hardest part is learning to receive. For you, giving is power. Receiving feels like submission. Next time someone offers you a compliment, a gift, or help, do not deflect. Do not calculate the debt. Just say, thank you. Feel the burn of discomfort in your chest. That is your ego dissolving. Let them give to you. By refusing, you deny them the joy of giving and the intimacy of being needed. Open the dam. This requires reparenting. You must replace the internal drill sergeant with a nurturer. When you are overwhelmed, instead of berating yourself for weakness, speak to the inner child who is scared. Say to yourself, I see you are struggling. It is okay to put the load down. I will not abandon you if you rest. You must become the safe parent you never had. You must audit your trust. You cannot be vulnerable with everyone. Find the safe ones, the people who are consistent, who respect boundaries, who do not crumble when you show emotion. Start with one person. Hand them one brick from your wall. If they hold it with care, hand them another. Trust is built in drops. To summarize, hyper-independence is a trauma response, a defense mechanism born from a lack of safety in childhood. It tricked you into believing that invulnerability was the only way to survive. But the cost is burnout, isolation, and shallow relationships. The solution is not to become weak, but to become soft. It is to move from a me versus the world mindset to a me and the world mindset. Acknowledge the armor. Admit that your strength is actually a defense. Practice micro-vulnerability. Ask for small things. Test the safety of your environment. Learn to receive. Stop deflecting love and support. Sit with the discomfort. Reparent yourself. Be kind to your inner child instead of critical. You have served your time as the strong one. You have saved everyone else. Now it is time to save yourself by letting yourself be held. Unclench your jaw. Open your hands. Let the glass fall. You are not a machine to be maintained. You are a human being to be loved.